In late August and early September of 1777, British troops under General William Howe begin their advance from Headeville, Maryland, toward Philadelphia. And Washington is faced with a very challenging and very difficult situation. He can simply try to harass the British, withdraw before them, move back into the countryside, and slow them down, but accept that ultimately we're not going to be able to stop them. They're going to take Philadelphia if they need to. That might be the more sensible strategy from some points of view, because then he'll be able to preserve his army to fight another day. But Washington instinctively will always look for the more aggressive posture. He'll always be looking for the main chance to inflict a drubbing on the British. And he continues to think he can do it. Certainly his morale is improved, as is the morale of his men, by what happened at Trenton and Princeton and the ensuing campaign. They know they can win. So Washington feels that this is an opportunity to actually fight the British toe-to-toe and maybe even stop them from taking Philadelphia, maybe even drive them back into the sea, or win a much greater victory. So he's willing to take that chance, and he plants his army astride the British route of advance on multiple occasions, and he finally comes to rest at a place called Chad's Ford on Brandywine Creek in September 10th, September 11th, 1777. Now, Washington in this campaign is in some senses at his best, but he's also at his worst. Because, unforgivably from my point of view, he allows a situation to develop where an invading army knows the ground better than the army that's defending it. Washington sets his army at Chad's Ford, and he does some reconnoitering up along the creek to figure out where his flanks are, but he doesn't pursue it thoroughly, and he ends up not learning how many places the British can actually pass along the creek and go around Washington's flank. He simply assumes that he can place General John Sullivan up there, he can place some cavalry under Theodoric Bland up there, they'll protect his flank, he can fight the British face to face and defeat them. Now William Howe comes up, and Howe, having worked very effectively with local loyalists, learns that in fact there is a way around Washington's flank. Howe loves flank attacks. He loves to send forces directly at the Americans to pin them down, while another force, by rapid march, marches around the flank. He's done it before, he'll do it again. That's what he does at Brandywine. Now, when Washington learns that that's what Howe is up to, that through intelligence he learns that Howe is attempting to march around his flank, Washington assumes, well, it's going to take Howe a long time to do this. This is my opportunity to attack straight across Brandywine Creek at the force that's attempting to pin me down under General Knyphausen. Says if I can attack that half of William Howe's army before his flanking force gets in my rear, I have the opportunity to win a major victory. It's a tremendous gamble. He's taking a risk, practically of his entire army, on the chance that it'll take Howe too long to get around his flank. So Washington actually issues orders to attack straight across the creek against Knyphausen. And the troops begin to cross the creek, and you can imagine what would happen if indeed a large part of Washington's army had crossed that creek, and then Howe's army had suddenly appeared in his flank or in his rear. You would have had Washington's army astraddle the creek with one army in his flank and rear and another to his front. It might have meant total destruction. Fortunately, fate intervenes, and before many troops get across the creek, Howe's army appears in Washington's flank. Yes, he's surprised, but he's still able to pull those few troops back across. He's able to fight the British at Birmingham Hill. Yes, they're defeated, But Washington is able, thanks especially also to Nathanael Greene, to pull his army off intact to fight another day. But again, this is an episode of Washington the Gambler, that he was not simply trying to fight a Fabian strategy of trying to avoid major defeat, but he was willing to take major risks in order to achieve victory.